You got pregnant when you were a teenager, and you've been carrying the secret ever since.
We could contact the authorities, or we can take care of this ourselves.
We can run, but there's no way that bastard can hide.
I'm calling for a truce.
What's wrong? Dad's dying.
Honestly, Chase better not get on Brooklyn's case. I mean, she was a teenager when they met, decades before he even existed in her world. If he's okay with Willow throwing herself at her husband's uncle, he better put on his big boy pants and support his wife, too. Seriously, when will this endless Chase and Brooklyn saga about their son Gio wrap up? At this point, Gio is more of a placeholder than a character, and Chase's incessant whining is getting old. It's like the same broken record over and over. And can we please talk about Jack? How has he not told Anna about that video of Cyrus stabbing Dex to frame Joss? It's a game changer, and she needs to know so she can train at WSB. Jack, do us all a favor and call Anna already. And for the love of all things holy, don't you dare get rid of Cyrus's body. This could all blow up in Jason's face if you do. Jason, by the way, you're wasting your time on Drew. The guy doesn't want peace. He wants you and Sunny behind bars. Get a clue. Speaking of cluelessness, anyone else notice that Drew's house is the same one as Dawn of Day? I mean, how did Carly not teach Joss anything growing up? She should always be calling Jason. But no, she's playing detective without gloves, getting her DNA all over the place, and yelling at Anna to stop being so dumb. And don't get me started on her fascination with Willow still clinging to Drew. Is he seriously just Shiloh 2.0? What a joke. And honestly, props to Joss for taking matters into her own hands with Cyrus. She had no choice but to defend herself, and that's exactly what she did. Cyrus was a monster, and when he grabbed that axe, we all knew Joss would have to pull the trigger. She didn't hesitate, and that's what we needed to see. It was like a scene straight out of a thriller, especially with Cyrus's creepy little trophies from his victims. The moment he turned that doorknob, I think we all jumped. When he came at her with that axe, I was certain he was done for. But when Joss called Jack instead of Jason, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, she's got brains. She knew exactly what to do. Jack's grooming her to become an agent, and I'm here for it. The kid's got potential. Of course, Brennan shows up, and we're left wondering, is he preparing her for WSB, or is he just doing this for Carly's family? Either way, he's the right choice to help her clean up the mess. As for Cyrus, if anyone's still questioning Joss's self-defense, just look at the evidence. The guy was a psychopath who would have killed her without a second thought. That's not murder, that's survival. I just hope they tell Anna everything before this entire mess spirals further. The last thing we need is for everyone to turn on Jason again. This cabin situation is like a bad dream I can't wake up from. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Oh, what a fabulous episode, truly one for the history books. We had everything. Joss giving Cyrus a run for his money. Was anyone surprised? I certainly wasn't. And of course, Brennan showing up right on cue for her, just as we all predicted. And let's not forget the emotionally charged moment between Chase and Brooklyn. You could practically feel the guilt radiating off of her as she kept lying about not being able to get pregnant while he kept pushing. Oof, that was brutal. Now, about this ridiculous pregnancy plot. Brooklyn was literally a virgin when she was dating Diego Alcazar. A virgin. And now we're supposed to buy into this absurd teenage pregnancy drama. Sure, GH, totally believable. And Lulu? Oh my god. She's practically sobbing over Brooklyn's inability to have kids, all while listing every single thing she's jealous of. I'm so sad for her, I'm just heartbroken. Yeah, we get it, Lulu. But wait until she finds out Brooklyn is actually the mother of Dante's first child. I'll personally be there to see her jaw hit the floor. Meanwhile, poor Rocco barely sees her, and Charlotte's out here living her best life with Papa. And please, for the love of all that is good, don't turn Chase into another GH casualty like Drew, Willow, or Emma. Keep him for once. Finally, what is the deal with not waiting for Jonathan Jackson to return for the climax of the Cyrus storyline? How could they not think to do that? Makes zero sense. As for Chase and Brooklyn, I'm not buying the whole Chase will leave her narrative just yet. Sure, he'll be mad when he finds out she dragged her feet telling him, and he'll probably be way more mad when he finds out who the father is. But let's be real, their marriage will probably survive. But hey, if it doesn't, Chase, you know where to find me. I'll be more than happy to take care of you in your time of need. Oh right, let's think back to about a week ago. Didn't we spot Brennan hanging out with some woman at Cyrus' cabin? I don't recall their conversation exactly, but I can't help but wonder if he intentionally gave Joss the cabin's location just so she'd go there. But for what reason? Yeah, that part's still a mystery. Hold up, Brennan was outside the entire time. Classic move. Now, let's talk about this whole defending my property thing. If someone breaks into my home and I catch them in the act, I absolutely have the right to defend myself. Fine, Cyrus is a killer, but he had every right to defend his turf too. Jocelyn was committing a crime and ended up offing the homeowner in the process. Pretty sure that's 2 felonies right there. And if Joss is really so innocent and was just acting in self-defense, why the heck didn't she call Anna after she shot Cyrus? I mean, wouldn't that be the logical move for someone who was in a self-defense situation? Drew's really starting to remind me of Shiloh, honestly. He's preying on Willow when she's at her most vulnerable, and I just can't stand it. What he's doing is messed up. He's controlling her every move, manipulating her to the point where she's practically losing her mind. Sure, Willow's an adult, but she's been controlled by a man before, and now it's happening again. Only she's so used to it, she doesn't even realize it. But hey, at least the nightmare's finally over with Cyrus. Game over. Finally. And just to clear it up, Joss wasn't trespassing because guess what? Cyrus didn't actually own that cabin. He was just squatting there like the unwanted parasite he is. I seriously wish they had let Cyrus get caught, though, just so Laura could have a few words with him. And the families of all his other victims, they deserve closure too. I mean, yeah, at least he told Elizabeth a little of the truth, but still. Honestly, I saw it coming from a mile away. Joss was going to be the one to kill Cyrus. Even John Brennan knew it. Now, when Carly finds out, I just hope she doesn't flip on John for helping Joss. Joss is an adult. She knew exactly what she was doing. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if John offers her an internship at the WSB or Anna gives her a job at the police station. The girl deserves some serious credit for her investigation skills and self-defense. I mean, great job, Joss. Bye, Cyrus Renault. Port Charles has a new villain in town, and surprise, surprise, it's Sonny's ex-husband and current lover. Look, if someone breaks into my house, you better believe I'm going to defend my property. Cyrus may have been a killer, but I'm sorry, he still had a right to defend himself too. I get it, Joss was protecting herself, but at the same time, she was committing a crime. So yeah, killing the homeowner? Definitely a felony. Just saying. Oh, people are really going after Joss now. She's the only one who could have stopped Cyrus before he found someone else to ruin, and yet, somehow, people are defending him. It's wild. Seriously, defending Cyrus? The guy who's a walking nightmare. Unbelievable. And here's the kicker. Fake Brennan's going to pull some strings to get Joss off, and guess who's going to take the fall? Yep, Jason. Joss should have just stayed out of it. 1 minute, she wants to be a doctor. The next, she's playing secret agent. Girl can't make up her mind. She's a mess of an investigator, getting caught every single time. She basically handed Cyrus a map to escape when the cops started sniffing around. She's an accident waiting to happen. Joss needs to stop pretending to play with the adults and just go back to school. Also, if Joss was really acting in self-defense, why didn't she call Anna immediately after shooting Cyrus? Oh, right, because self-defense doesn't involve barging into someone's home with a loaded gun. That's premeditated murder, honey. Now let's talk about the mess that is the Brooklyn Dante Gio family drama. I'm just waiting for the day Lois finds out she's gonna be blamed for everything, because we all know Tracy will lose her mind when she finds out. And don't get me started on Olivia being Gio's grandma. That's going to be a fun family reunion. Lulu's already acting like Brooklyn is stealing her spotlight. And we haven't even gotten to the part where Chase finds out that his best friend gave her the thing he can never have. Yeah, that's going to be a smooth conversation. Oh, and Curtis's new buddy? Bet it's going to be Snoop Dogg. I mean, come on, who else could make Curtis look cooler? And as for Cyrus, good riddance. Though, I wouldn't be surprised if he was working with Sidwell. I was so done listening to him babble on about God's divine plan, while he wreaked havoc on everyone's lives. The man was a walking disaster. He deserved a slow, painful end. The guy was literally the spawn of the devil. Brennan's probably going to cover for Joss, but at this point, who even cares? I'm genuinely disappointed by how they just let Joss kill Cyrus off so easily. Seriously? We didn't even get a chance to see Alexis or Laura tear into him. Alexis's daughter, Aka the victim, deserved that moment, especially since Sam was practically a legacy character at this point. This was not the ending we deserved. Cyrus should have been arrested, and we could have had a whole murder mystery arc later. But nope, here we are. Meanwhile, Elizabeth is out there, practically throwing herself in front of Lucky to save him from Cyrus's deadly attack. Gotta give props to Dr. Isaiah for stepping in to help Lucky at GH, though, at least something's going right. This life or death drama is sure to bring Elizabeth, Lucky, and Aiden closer. It's practically a family bonding experience at this point. But then there's Drew. Oh, Drew, the guy who slept with Michael's wife, now trying to exploit Michael's tragedy just to get his hands on Willow and Michael's kids. He's actually planning to bring them into his little revenge plot. I mean, seriously? At least Willow remembered that Wiley still loves his father, Michael, and has no idea what's going on with his parents. Thank goodness for small mercies. And then there's Jordan, Laura, and Anna, who have finally realized that Drew has become a total mess. They're over him, preferring to work with Sonny instead. And honestly, who can blame them? Drew spends all his time belittling Jason, who, by the way, is just respecting Sam's wishes for her children. Maybe Drew should focus on his own family instead of fixating on petty revenge. Oh, and Joss finally got her revenge on Cyrus. Talk about perfect timing, right? Sending him off to his demise like a pro. Meanwhile, Brooklyn's over here confessing to Chase about her past baby. You just know things are about to get even messier. Speaking of Joss, she called Jack for help after the whole Cyrus debacle. But will Jack's help just bring even more problems into her life? That's the real question. But let's not forget, Brennan's been helping Joss with her Cyrus takedown because the WSB dropped the ball on turning over that footage of Cyrus killing Dex. Apparently, Brennan was eyeing Joss to join the WSB. Too bad he had no idea she had that gun in her hand. For the record, Jack Brennan did not set Joss up. He's actually on her side. And finally, Lola Franco. Oh, Lola. Poor thing is just so jealous of Jocelyn. She can't handle the fact she doesn't have Joss's beauty. But here's the thing. What Joss did was self-defense. That's the truth, sweetie. Cry harder. Oh, where to begin? So, apparently, everyone who's claiming that Joss shot Cyrus in self-defense is just flat out wrong. Let's break this down. Joss was trespassing. Cyrus had every right to defend himself. End of story. But let's keep pretending she was the innocent victim here. Sounds like a fun narrative. Now, can we talk about the magical power trio of Laura, Jordan, and Anna? I mean, seriously, how perfect is this? You've got Anna and Jordan, both former and current police commissioners. Talk about a dynamic duo. Then there's Laura, who, if you don't know by now, was one of the biggest heroines from the 80s. I'm not saying these characters were born for this, but I'm also not saying that. It just feels right, doesn't it? But wait, hold on. Did anyone else catch the fact that Joss didn't call Jason? Instead, she called Brennan? That's a decision that raised some eyebrows, for sure. Who in their right mind would skip the big bad Jason and dial Brennan? I'm sure there's an amazing explanation for that. Definitely not one that's just there to make us question everything, right? Here's another fun twist. What if Brennan has been playing Joss all along? You know, setting her up so now that Joss has accidentally killed Cyrus, she owes him big time? Because if there's anything I love, it's a good conspiracy theory. Maybe Jack's just waiting in the wings to swoop in, make himself look like the hero to Carly, and have his precious Sunny-like moment. Oh, and don't forget, maybe he'll also start training Joss to become his little spy. I mean, why wouldn't you want her eavesdropping on everything in Port Charles? She's got all the connections, right? What a setup. Genius, really. Also, small oversight here. Jocelyn was searching for an address, and the coordinates clearly pinged California. California, as in, not New York. It's almost like the crew was like, who needs accuracy when you've got drama, am I right? I'm sure it was just an innocent mistake, because clearly that's something you mix up all the time. And finally, let's talk about Laura. Is she still in complete denial about Cyrus being the killer? Liz told her the truth, there's evidence, and yet here we are, still pretending like it's all a misunderstanding. At this rate, Martin and Laura are going to feel pretty silly when everything unravels. Can't wait for that moment. Oh, and speaking of shady business, why has new Jack been feeding Joss all this intel about Cyrus? Could it be that he's grooming her to join the WSB? Or maybe he's got other plans, like pulling her into his pikeman operation? Because let's not forget, Jack has been building this whole international private security empire. I'm sure he just gave it all up when Valentin left, right? Totally not something that would stick around and serve as a convenient plot point later. Of course, everyone's ready to throw Jocelyn under the bus for breaking into Cyrus's house, but let's not forget who the actual criminal here is: Cyrus himself. The man wasn't exactly an angel. Kudos to Joss for finally doing what needed to be done. Oh, and speaking of which, didn't Brennan have some lady friend at Cyrus's cabin about a week ago? The details are a little hazy, but I can't shake the feeling that Brennan intentionally sent Joss to that location. I mean, why else would he do that? I still can't figure out what his end game is, but it definitely seems like he's got something up his sleeve. Here's the thing. When Joss found Dex's gun a couple of months ago and kept it, I knew she'd be the one to take Cyrus down. What I didn't see coming was her actually calling Jack for backup. This is getting good, people. Really good. And Brennan? He's in for a surprise when he realizes the only reason Joss was even at Cyrus's house in the first place is because he gave her the address. Oh, the irony. Meanwhile, Drew's still out here thinking he has Willow wrapped around his finger, but she's over here making it crystal clear she's still legally married. That showdown between Drew and Jason, it's going to be legendary. Oh, and just a casual side note, Lucky's still alive. Can't let that one slip by. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.